All in the Family, one of TV's most groundbreaking shows, aired from 1971 to 1979, leaving a lasting impact on American television. As we reach 2025, it's hard not to wonder, where are the stars of this iconic sitcom now? From the unforgettable Archie Bunker to his spirited family, the actors who brought these unforgettable characters to life have led fascinating lives since the show's end. Join us as we take a look back and discover what happened to the legendary cast members of All in the Family after 54 years. Jean Stapleton took on the role of Edith Bunker in 1971 at 48 years old, playing the sweet, naive, and loving wife to Archie, whose kindness and simplicity often provided a counterpoint to Archie's harshness. Edith was the heart of the show, and Stapleton's portrayal was beloved for its vulnerability and humor. Despite her success, Stapleton struggled with the shadow of her iconic role and turned down many projects to avoid being typecast. Her personal life saw great sorrow when her husband, William Putch, passed away suddenly in 1983. The loss deeply affected her, and she became increasingly withdrawn, focusing on charity work and living a quieter life. Though she remained active in the industry in smaller roles, Stapleton's final years were marked by a sense of sadness and reflection. She died on May 31, 2013, at the age of 90 from natural causes, leaving behind a legacy of warmth, yet with her own private heartaches. Carroll O'Connor brought the iconic Archie Bunker to life in 1971 at 47 years old, a role that made him synonymous with the gruff, bigoted, and deeply flawed character. Archie's abrasiveness and frequent clashes with his family captured the social tensions of the era, and O'Connor's performance earned him critical acclaim and multiple Emmy Awards. However, O'Connor's personal life was far from easy. His son, Hugh, struggled with addiction and tragically took his own life in 1995. The grief from this loss haunted Carroll for the rest of his life, and he became a strong advocate for drug awareness and addiction recovery. Despite a stable marriage to Nancy Fields, the emotional toll of his son's death remained with him. Carroll O'Connor passed away on June 21, 2001, at 76, due to a heart attack, leaving behind a legacy marred by personal loss and public triumph. Mike Evans began playing Lionel Jefferson in 1971 at the age of 22, bringing to life a character who used wit and intelligence to challenge Archie's bigotry. His portrayal of Lionel was groundbreaking, offering a rare example of a confident, educated black man on television. However, after leaving All in the Family to co-create Good Times, Mike struggled to regain his acting momentum. Despite his early success, Evans faced financial instability and professional setbacks that left him disillusioned. His marriage to Helena Jefferson ended in hardship, with the couple facing foreclosure on their home, further adding to his personal distress. In the early 2000s, he was diagnosed with throat cancer, and his health quickly deteriorated. Mike passed away on December 14, 2006, at the age of 57, his death marking the loss of an actor whose talent never reached its full potential. Jason Wingreen, who portrayed Harry Snowden on All in the Family in 1976 at the age of 56, was known for his dry wit and calm demeanor. Despite his long career with notable roles, including voicing Boba Fett in The Empire Strikes Back, Wingreen never achieved the fame he deserved. His personal life, marked by 2 marriages and a son who struggled with addiction, was plagued by pain and estrangement. Wingreen's financial woes added another layer of hardship, as he lost significant savings in a scam. These struggles, combined with the bitterness of not being fully recognized for his talent, left him in relative obscurity in his later years. He passed away on December 25, 2015, at 95, his death marked by the loss of a quiet legend who had never received the recognition he deserved. Isabel Sanford began her iconic role as Louise "Wheezy" Jefferson in 1971 at the age of 54, portraying a woman of strength and dignity who often stood her ground against Archie's bigotry. Her role as a proud, confident African-American woman was groundbreaking, earning her an Emmy Award in 1981, making her the first black woman to win in the lead actress category. Despite her success, Isabel's career was plagued by typecasting, and she struggled financially during periods when roles outside of the Jeffersons were scarce. Her personal life was equally challenging. Married to William Edward Richmond for several years, their relationship ended in divorce, and she was left to raise 3 children largely on her own. Her health deteriorated in her later years, as she battled heart disease and high blood pressure. Isabel passed away on July 9, 2004, at the age of 86 from natural causes. Though her legacy as a trailblazer in television endures, her personal life was marked by struggles, making her success bittersweet. Alan Melvin joined All in the Family in 1971 at the age of 48, playing Barney Hefner, Archie Bunker's loyal but bumbling best friend. Melvin was a versatile actor, known for his work in voice acting in The Flintstones and The Jetsons, but despite his talent, he was never fully recognized as a leading man. His personal life was marked by struggles, particularly within his marriage to Amalia Faustina Sestero, with whom he had 2 children. His demanding career led to strained family relationships, and the emotional burden of caring for his wife, who developed Alzheimer's, took a toll on him. Tragedy struck when his younger brother died in a car accident in the 1970s. Despite these personal hardships, Melvin continued to work into his later years, living a quiet life. He passed away on January 17, 2008, from cancer at the age of 84, his death largely unnoticed by the public, leaving behind a legacy of understated yet significant contributions to television. Betty Garrett portrayed Irene Lorenzo in All in the Family starting in 1973 at the age of 54. Irene was a bold, progressive neighbor who often clashed with Archie Bunker's outdated views, offering a feminist perspective that challenged the status quo. Garrett's career, which began in the 1940s, saw early success in Broadway musicals like On the Town, but her personal life was marred by hardship. Her husband, Larry Parks, was blacklisted during the Red Scare, which not only harmed his career but also financially impacted their family. Garrett married Parks in 1944, and they had 2 sons, Garrett and Andrew, though their life together was filled with the strain of financial instability and public scrutiny. Tragedy struck when Garrett's son Garrett died in a car accident in the 1990s, leaving her devastated. She faced health issues in her later years, including a stroke in 2008, before passing away on February 12, 2011, at the age of 91, from an aortic aneurysm. Sherman Hemsley joined All in the Family in 1973 at the age of 35, portraying George Jefferson, a character who was ambitious, outspoken, and determined to rise above the racism and adversity he faced. George's brash personality and success in the Jeffersons spin-off made Hemsley a household name, but his career was largely confined to typecast roles, leading to frustration and disappointment. Despite his fame, Hemsley lived a reclusive life, never marrying or having children, and keeping his personal life out of the public eye. His financial troubles led to bankruptcy in 1999, and in his later years, he struggled with health problems, particularly lung cancer, which eventually took his life on July 24, 2012, at the age of 74. His death was marked by controversy, as his will was contested by alleged family members. Though he was adored by fans, his personal life was one of solitude and untapped potential, leaving behind a legacy of both success and unfulfilled aspirations. Mel Stewart took on the role of Henry Jefferson in 1971 at 42, bringing to life George Jefferson's sharp-witted and often confrontational brother. Henry was a character known for standing up to Archie Bunker, providing some of the show's most memorable and biting moments. While Stewart's performance was celebrated, his career did not reach the heights of some of his peers, often relegated to secondary roles. His personal life was marked by loss and hardship, particularly when his marriage to Shirley, whom he wed in the early 1960s, ended in a painful divorce after 12 years. He had 1 son, who struggled with addiction, deeply affecting Stewart's emotional well-being. Stewart's final years were spent in relative obscurity, battling health issues that further isolated him. He passed away on February 24, 2002, at the age of 72, leaving behind a body of work overshadowed by personal sorrow and family struggles. Danny Dayton played Hank Pivnik in All in the Family starting in 1976 at the age of 53, portraying a sarcastic and humorous regular at Archie Bunker's bar. Dayton had a long career in theater and television, but he was often relegated to supporting roles, never quite achieving the stardom he desired. His marriage to actress Arlene Sachs ended in a difficult divorce, and he had a strained relationship with their son, Michael, due to his struggles with alcoholism. Dayton's professional career never truly took off, and his later years were filled with financial instability and health issues. He battled emphysema, a condition that severely affected his quality of life. His declining health led him to spend his final years in a care facility, where he passed away on February 6, 1999, at the age of 75. Though he left a modest body of work, Dayton's personal life was overshadowed by isolation, addiction, and the inability to fulfill the promise his early career had once suggested. Bob Hastings portrayed Kelsey, the friendly and tolerant bartender, in All in the Family starting in 1971 at the age of 46. Kelsey, who often served as a sounding board for Archie's rants, was a symbol of calm and patience in the face of Archie's volatile temperament. Hastings had a diverse career spanning television and film, with a notable role in McHale's Navy and guest appearances in numerous series. However, his career faced challenges, particularly in terms of being typecast into roles that limited his range. Hastings married Joan Rice and had 4 children, but his career kept him away from home, leading to strains in his family life. He often spoke about the difficulty of maintaining close relationships with his children due to his demanding work schedule. In his later years, Hastings was diagnosed with prostate cancer, which he fought bravely but ultimately succumbed to on June 30, 2014, at the age of 89, marking the end of a career filled with quiet strength. Billy Hallup played Mr. Munson, a straightforward and practical cab driver, in All in the Family starting in 1971 at the age of 51. Hallup had once been a prominent actor in the 1930s as part of the Dead End Kids, but after World War II, his career declined sharply, and he struggled to find meaningful roles. His personal life mirrored his professional struggles. He married 4 times but never had children, a decision that haunted him as he grew older. Hallup spent his later years working outside the entertainment industry, even becoming a nurse to make ends meet. His financial troubles were compounded by health issues, including a heart condition that ultimately claimed his life. On November 9, 1976, Hallup died of a heart attack at the age of 56. Despite his early fame, he passed away with little recognition, his life serving as a stark reminder of the fickle nature of fame and the toll that personal and professional struggles can take. Vincent Gardenia joined All in the Family in 1971 at the age of 51, playing Frank Lorenzo, a liberal and tolerant neighbor who often clashed with Archie's more conservative views. Gardenia's acting career was distinguished by his roles in films like Bang the Drum Slowly and Moonstruck, earning him 2 Academy Award nominations. Despite his professional success, Gardenia's personal life was marked by deep loneliness and isolation. He never married and had no children, often reflecting on his solitude in interviews. His relationships with his family were strained, particularly with his father, who disapproved of his career choice. Gardenia's intense dedication to his work took a toll on his physical and emotional well-being, and he was plagued by a series of heart problems later in life. He died of a heart attack on December 9, 1992, at the age of 72, alone in a hotel room in Philadelphia. Sorrel Bouc, who took on the role of Joseph Sanders in 1972 at 42, was known for portraying Archie's reasonable, level-headed boss. His character was a refreshing contrast to the fiery Archie Bunker, and Bouc's calm demeanor made him a beloved supporting character. However, his career was plagued by frustration and disappointment. Despite steady work in television and film, he never achieved the breakout success he deserved, often being relegated to supporting roles in which his talents were not fully realized. Bouc's personal life was filled with its own sorrow, as his marriage to his wife ended in a devastating divorce after 15 years. His family life also faced tragedy, as his daughter struggled with mental health issues, leaving Bouc emotionally drained. In his final years, Book battled a silent and painful illness, colorectal cancer, that he kept largely hidden from the public eye. He passed away on February 11, 1994, at the age of 64. Burt Mustin, who portrayed Justin Quigley on All in the Family in 1971 at the age of 87, became a cherished figure for his portrayal of the wise and humorous elderly neighbor. His character, while providing comic relief and offering sage advice, mirrored a life of unspoken melancholy for Mustin himself. Having lost his wife many years earlier, he endured much of his later years in solitude, grappling with feelings of isolation and sadness. Despite his notable age, Mustin managed to have a late career revival, appearing in various television roles and films. However, the decline in his health limited his professional opportunities, and he was unable to capitalize fully on his late fame. Mustin passed away on January 28, 1977, at the age of 92. His death marked the end of a life marked by deep personal loss, as well as a career that never quite reached the heights he might have hoped for given his enduring talent. Gloria Leroy, who brought to life the character of Mildred Boone Turner on All in the Family starting in 1972 at the age of 47, was known for her vivacious and flirtatious personality. While her role on the show was celebrated for adding a touch of glamour and humor, her personal and professional life told a much darker story. Leroy, whose career had seen promising moments, struggled with the industry's tendency to typecast her in similar roles, stalling her chances for more substantial, diverse parts. Her marriage to actor Charles Gusman ended in a painful divorce, which weighed heavily on her. She had a son who faced severe addiction problems, further fracturing her sense of happiness. In her later years, the pressures of her past led her to battle depression and isolation. Despite her earlier fame, she quietly faded from the public eye, and her death on May 24, 2018, at the age of 92. Billy Sands, who began playing the bailiff on All in the Family in 1971 at the age of 60, was known for his stern but fair presence, a character trait that he embodied effortlessly. However, behind the stoic demeanor was a man whose personal life was fraught with struggles. Sands faced multiple failed marriages, which weighed heavily on him emotionally, leaving him with lingering feelings of heartache. Professionally, while his acting career was steady, he was often typecast and had difficulty finding more diverse roles as he aged. As the years went by, Sands also battled lung cancer, which took a significant toll on his health. His personal and professional struggles culminated in his passing on August 27, 1984, at the age of 73. Sands's death was a poignant reminder of the often unspoken battles that many face in the twilight years of their lives, leaving behind a legacy that was overshadowed by unrealized dreams and broken relationships. Scott Brady, who joined All in the Family in 1976 at the age of 52 as the tough and straightforward Joe Foley, faced many of his own personal struggles, despite the tough exterior his character portrayed. In his personal life, Scott's marriage to actress Fritzi Burr ended in divorce, leaving emotional scars that would shape his later years. While his career had moments of success, he found himself often relegated to the role of the tough guy, which limited his range as an actor and hindered his opportunities in Hollywood. As the years wore on, Scott began battling serious health issues, including respiratory failure, which ultimately claimed his life. His struggles with both his career and his health were compounded by his inability to transition into more varied roles. Scott Brady passed away on April 16, 1985, at the age of 60, leaving behind a career and life marked by disappointment and missed chances. Peggy Ray played Bertha in All in the Family starting in 1971 at the age of 50. Bertha was a motherly and nurturing character, often providing a sense of stability and warmth to those around her, contrasting with the often abrasive figures in the show. Ree's career spanned decades, with notable roles in The Dukes of Hazzard and Grace Under Fire, but her personal life was marked by hardships. She had one marriage, which ended in divorce, and her journey as a single mother was a difficult one. Ray struggled with financial instability and emotional isolation, and despite her professional success, she faced deep personal challenges. In her later years, Ray found some peace but was in poor health, suffering from heart problems. She passed away on February 5, 2011, at the age of 89 due to heart failure. Despite a career filled with recognition, her personal life was riddled with loss, emotional turmoil, and unfulfilled hopes. Brendan Dillon, who played the friendly bartender in All in the Family starting in 1971 at the age of 53, was an actor with decades of experience in the theater, yet his role in the show never brought him the recognition he had hoped for. Dillon's personal life was marked by significant hardship, particularly after the death of his wife, Rose H. Dixon, in the 1960s. He was left to raise their 2 children on his own, a task made even more difficult when both children faced struggles with addiction. The weight of these personal tragedies, coupled with his career's failure to truly take off, led Dillon to withdraw from the industry and live in relative obscurity. The emotional toll of his family's difficulties left him a shadow of his former self. He lived much of his later years in isolation, his death on March 15, 2011, at the age of 92 going unnoticed by the public, his life overshadowed by a series of personal losses and professional disappointments. Janice Page, who portrayed Denise in All in the Family starting in 1976 at the age of 54, played a glamorous and sophisticated character who brought a touch of elegance to the show. Denise was lively and charismatic, often offering a sense of warmth and charm in contrast to the more cynical characters around her. Page's career spanned several decades, with notable roles on Broadway and in film, including The Pajama Game and Hollywood Canteen. However, her personal life was filled with difficulties. She married twice, first to actor Tommy Noonan and later to a businessman, but both marriages ended in divorce. Page never had children, and this void in her personal life was something she openly discussed in interviews. As she aged, Page faced the inevitable physical decline, and her health deteriorated. Despite these challenges, she continued to act for as long as she could, maintaining a connection to the industry. She passed away on June 2, 2024, at the age of 101. Eugene Roche, who played the lovable yet quirky Pinky Peterson in All in the Family starting in 1976 at the age of 48, was known for his ability to bring humor and charm to his roles. His portrayal of Pinky, with his oddball quirks and sense of humor, endeared him to fans. Roche's career spanned television and film, with roles in Soap and The Chipmunk Adventure, but his career was often unstable, with many of his roles being short-lived. His personal life mirrored his professional challenges. He married twice, but both marriages ended in divorce, and he struggled to maintain a strong relationship with his children. Roche also dealt with health issues, including high blood pressure and heart problems. These health struggles culminated in his death from a heart attack on July 28, 2004, at the age of 75. Despite his comedic talent, his life was filled with emotional and physical struggles, leaving behind a career that was not as celebrated as it could have been. Barbara Kaysen, who portrayed Claire Packer in All in the Family starting in 1971 at the age of 43, played a supportive and caring character, often providing emotional depth to the show's storylines. However, off-screen, Kaysen's life was far from the picture of happiness. Although she was a talented actress, her personal life was marked by heartache and loneliness. She married an actor, but the marriage ended in divorce, and she never had children, which left her feeling unfulfilled. Kaysen's later years were dominated by health struggles, particularly heart problems. Despite these difficulties, she continued to work in television until her health forced her to slow down. Kaysen passed away on June 18, 1990, at the age of 61 due to a heart attack. Her death came at a time when her career was still in progress, and her personal struggles had left an indelible mark on her life, leaving a sense of what might have been. Sandy Kenyon, who played the role of Dave the cop on All in the Family in 1971 at the age of 49, was known for his friendly, approachable demeanor as a supportive police officer to the Bunker family. Off-screen, however, Kenyon's life was marked by hardship and turmoil. His marriage, though initially strong, crumbled under the weight of unspoken tensions and personal issues, leading to a painful divorce. The end of his marriage left Kenyon emotionally shattered and distanced from his children, contributing to a period of isolation and sorrow. Professionally, he never achieved the level of recognition he hoped for, with his career stagnating in smaller roles. In his later years, Kenyon faced serious health issues, which compounded his already growing sense of loss. He passed away on February 20, 2010, at 87, following a prolonged battle with illness. Barnard Hughes, who played Father Majeski in All in the Family in 1971 at the age of 56, portrayed a kind-hearted and empathetic priest who often found himself in amusing yet poignant exchanges with Archie. Despite his professional success, Hughes' career was not as illustrious as many hoped, with many of his roles being relatively minor, though he received acclaim for his stage performances. His personal life, however, was filled with heartache. He was married twice, both ending in divorce, and struggled with the loss of his first wife. His relationship with his children was distant, and Hughes found himself battling loneliness in his later years. Despite his on-screen warmth, his personal struggles cast a shadow on his life. He passed away on July 11, 2006, at the age of 90, after a long battle with illness and the lingering effects of a life marked by emotional turmoil. Charles Siebert, who took on the role of the DA on All in the Family in 1975 at the age of 37, is remembered for his stern and commanding presence on screen, yet his personal journey was anything but stable. While his professional career was dotted with TV roles, he never achieved the breakthrough he longed for. His personal life was fraught with turmoil, including a painful divorce that shattered his family. His children became estranged from him, leaving Siebert to cope with the void of his fractured relationships. Despite years of trying to find fulfillment, he grappled with a sense of career disappointment and personal loss. He passed away on May 1, 2022, at the age of 84. By 2025, Siebert remains largely out of the public eye, living quietly with few close connections. His once promising career, paired with the haunting rifts in his family life, left him in a reflective, solitary existence. Dennis Patrick, who brought to life the character of Gordy Lloyd on All in the Family in 1974 at the age of 56, was a likable and charming presence on screen, often the comic relief in a series filled with tension. But behind the scenes, his life was filled with hardship. Despite his engaging performances, Patrick struggled to land substantial roles, and his personal life was full of pain. His marriage ended in a bitter divorce, and he became estranged from his children, an emotional wound that haunted him. His work was inconsistent, and he often found himself in financial difficulties, far removed from the recognition he had once hoped for. Tragically, Dennis Patrick's life came to a sudden end in a house fire on October 13, 2002, at the age of 84. His untimely death, after years of personal struggles, was a bitter end to a life that had never found the peace or recognition it deserved. Rob Reiner, portraying Michael Meathead Stivic in 1971 at the age of 24, was the liberal, intellectual foil to Archie's conservative views, making his character a key element of the show's societal commentary. Reiner's career soared after the show, with successful directing ventures like When Harry Met Sally and A Few Good Men, but his personal life was turbulent. His first marriage to Penny Marshall ended in divorce, and the emotional aftermath of their split affected Reiner deeply. He also faced challenges in his relationship with his children from his first marriage, straining family ties. Despite finding a more stable life with his second wife, Michelle Singer, Reiner still grapples with the emotional scars of his past, often reflecting on missed opportunities and unresolved relationships. As of 2025, at 77 years old, Reiner remains active in Hollywood, continuing his work in film and social activism, though those close to him report a man who is often contemplative, weighed down by personal regrets. Sally Struthers began playing Gloria Bunker Stivic in 1971 at the age of 23. Gloria, the idealistic daughter of Archie and Edith, often found herself torn between her father's old-fashioned views and her husband's progressive ideals, making her a complex character caught between two worlds. Sally's portrayal of Gloria earned her popularity, But after the show ended, she struggled to find roles that allowed her to break free from the typecasting she faced. Her career became overshadowed by her personal challenges, including a turbulent marriage to psychiatrist William C. Rader, which ended in divorce in 1983. Despite having a daughter, Samantha, Sally's career never fully recovered, and she faced harsh public criticism over her weight and financial troubles. In her later years, she was plagued with health issues, including diabetes and arthritis, but she continues her charity work, living a quiet life at 76. Liz Torres, who portrayed Teresa Betancourt in 1976 at 29, brought to life the spirited, outspoken boarder at the Bunker household. Teresa's lively presence offered a fresh perspective amidst the Bunker's traditional dynamics, bringing diversity and humor to the show. Torres' career was filled with success, but she faced more obstacles than most. Despite her talent, she struggled to secure roles that would allow her to shine as brightly as she had in All in the Family, often facing racial and typecasting barriers in Hollywood. Her personal life was marked by loneliness and disappointment, having never married, though she had a close but tumultuous relationship with her family, particularly with her aging mother, whom she cared for until her death. Now 77 years old in 2025, she continues to act sporadically, but her life remains filled with the bittersweet recognition that the promise she once held was never fully realized. Danielle Brisebois began playing Stephanie Mills on All in the Family in 1978 at just 9 years old, bringing a sweet, youthful energy to the show. Afterward, Brisebois built a successful career as a singer-songwriter, earning Grammy and Oscar nominations. However, her life was far from easy. As a child star, she faced exploitation, which left lasting scars on her self-esteem. Her personal life was complicated by a marriage to producer Nick Lashley, with whom she has 2 children. Brisebois openly shared her struggles with postpartum depression, which placed a strain on her marriage and family life. Despite these challenges, she has become an advocate for mental health, using her platform to speak out on the pressures of growing up in the spotlight. As of 2025, at 55, Brisebois lives in Los Angeles, balancing her career in music and her family life, while continuing to reflect on the tumultuous experiences that shaped her. Estelle Parsons, who joined All in the Family in 1976 at the age of 49, portrayed Blanche Hefner, a feisty and outspoken character who challenged societal norms. Parsons' career had its shining moments, including her Academy Award for Bonnie and Clyde, but her personal life was not as glamorous. She was married to actor Richard Jordan, but their union ended in a painful divorce that left her emotionally scarred. Her relationship with her son became strained over the years, and she became increasingly isolated, wrestling with feelings of abandonment. Despite achieving success in her professional life, Parsons faced many struggles in her private life. Now 97 years old in 2025, she remains alive but continues to live with the weight of lost relationships and a past filled with heartache. The scars from her marriage and estrangement from her son linger, overshadowing her remarkable career and accomplishments. Clyde Kusatsu portrayed Reverend Chung in All in the Family starting in 1976 at the age of 28. His character was calm, wise, and often offered guidance and support to the other characters. However, Kusatsu's real life was far from peaceful. His marriage to his wife fell apart after years of personal and professional struggles, leaving him to raise children on his own. Professionally, Kusatsu faced the hardships of being typecast into stereotypical roles, a challenge that left him feeling marginalized and unfulfilled. His career was often slow to progress, and he struggled with depression and feelings of inadequacy. The combination of personal heartbreak and professional limitations took a significant emotional toll on him. Now 76 years old in 2025, Kusatsu continues to work and has managed to maintain some semblance of stability, but the scars from his failed marriage and frustrations with Hollywood's treatment of Asian actors remain painful reminders of his past struggles. Who is your favorite character from All in the Family? How do you feel knowing that some of the actors have passed away? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss future videos. Thank you so much.